Hey teacher, leave that kid alone. I revisited The Faculty from 1998 and had forgotten how many stars it featured. Have you seen this sci-fi high school horror? Six students at Herrington High are about to find out their teachers really are from another planet. So I don't remember the last time I saw this. I mean, it had been so long that I didn't remember most of the movie, but all of it came rushing back in that final act. Now, if you've never seen The Faculty, it's sort of a retelling of Who Goes There, which The Thing was based on. It also shares a lot with Invasion of Body Snatchers, which is even addressed in the movie. While it's not original, it's still an exciting thriller, just like what inspired it. Now, I had forgotten how many people starred in this. And it's like 90s big-name actors just came pouring out of the woodwork. There's Robert Patrick, Bebe Neuwirth, Josh Hartnett, Elijah Wood, Jordana Brewster, Clea Duvall, Salma Hayek, Shawn Hatosy, Famke Janssen, Piper Laurie, Usher, Jon Stewart, even Shooter McGavin, Christopher McDonald makes an appearance. And it's crazy to see all the stars in this. So the whole premise for this sci-fi horror is that teachers at a high school look like they're being taken over by aliens intent on conquering Earth. Some students begin to notice weird behaviors from some of the teachers and then uncover what's really going on. But as they do that, the majority of the school has already been infected, leaving just a handful to try and save the world. This is a very late 90s movie, filled with a great rock soundtrack and just about every trope that was commonplace in a movie about teenagers during that time. Josh Hartnett, he has this god-awful haircut in this. He was distracting for so much of the movie because he looks like a cross between Harry and Lloyd. And the haircut works against his bad boy persona, making him appear as someone with a very, very low IQ and even lower hygiene standards. But there's also a dichotomy to the character that I really love, especially how the film addresses stereotypes and then uses characters to challenge beliefs and subvert expectations. Hartnett's Zeke, he's a repeat 12th grader and a semi-drug dealer. But what's awesome is he's genius level. I mean, he's wildly knowledgeable about so many topics, especially science, illustrating that the outward appearance and even behaviors don't equal intellect or wisdom. There's also the character Stokely, played by Clea Duvall. Now, she's an outcast and a loner, but her pop culture knowledge helps her to figure out what's really going on, having to rely on and then confide in other people, even when she or they try not to need the other. And because the infected have their personalities changed, there is an awesome sequence that involves Famke Janssen. She's a very shy and quiet teacher who gets very little respect because she's so soft-spoken and unconfident. But once infected, it's a 180-degree turn, and Janssen plays it to the hilt, just chewing up the role and having fun with it. And this is like the perfect length for the story. It's an hour and 44 minutes, and it doesn't really have any downtime. There is sequence after sequence where characters find themselves being stressfully pursued, fighting off attackers, or even playing the ultimate game of hide and seek. The adrenaline and the momentum, they're high, supported by a driving soundtrack and intense scenarios. There are a lot of plot conveniences and character protections that are built into the story, but I don't think these are detrimental to the overall narrative. I mean, some characters definitely shouldn't be able to walk away after certain altercations, and then characters who we know aren't fast, they still are able to outrun and evade pursuers. I love that there are small moments of foreshadowing all throughout the first half of the film, typically hidden within quick bits of dialogue. I mean, these aren't obvious enough that they telegraph outcomes or situations, but once a situation does arise, you may find yourself remembering what a character had said earlier about the very same thing. And the gore that we're shown in this, it is a bit cheesy, but it's effective and gross enough to elicit the right emotions and cause the appropriate reactions to that violence. There's one sequence in particular when someone dies spectacularly, grossly just spraying juices before collapsing in a disgusting mess. There are also some good uses of small special effects, mostly involving faces and things in or under the skin. Ugh. We even get a creature feature in this, and surprisingly, the CGI still holds up pretty well. I mean, it's not flawless, and a lot of imperfections are covered up either through shadows, water, or quick actions, but still, I mean, the shadings and the design, they're adequately nasty. And then, hey, I mean, they also look better than most of the CGI in The Flash. That's not too bad for a film that's 25 years old. There is some comedy that's attempted in this. Mainly it doesn't work. I mean, some situations are naturally humorous, but when lines are being uttered to just try and create laughter, they come across more as forced and awkward than really funny. And I think a lot of the trajectory in this is predictable. And there are setups with some characters and scenarios that aren't nearly as clever or obscured as the story believes that they are. But if you enjoy this for the late 90s sci fi action horror it is, complete with over the top machismo, teen angst, a far fetched premise, a driving soundtrack, and some likable stars, it's a great movie to watch. I think the perfect film to see right after this is Cooties. So you can watch Elijah Wood go from a geeky teenage student taking on a school full of aliens to watching Elijah Wood as a geeky adult teacher taking on a school full of infected child zombies. Overall, The Faculty is a really enjoyable trip back to the late 90s, using the tropes of jocks, nerds, burnouts, and beauty to create an unlikely team of alien hunters. The story progression is predictable, and there's a lot of character plot protection, but the charismatic cast, stressful situations, fast-paced storytelling, and energetic action make for an enjoyable high school alien invasion. There's no sex, some nudity, ton of profanity, and a lot of violence. I give The Faculty 3.5 out of 5 couches. So what's another late 90s movie that you love to revisit? Let me know what it is in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.